Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. That is where we are, and we are excited. Well, I'm excited, and of course, my guest is excited as well. Vito is excited somewhere in the background, and we just love being able to come and share and talk with you during our Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. This is a new month. Today, we will be talking about a topic that we don't necessarily want to discuss. We want to have that like in the background and not really think about the effects of it, but abuse happens and we want to be able to share and help others to be able to break free. So today we're talking about breakthrough, how to move on from an abusive relationship. So whether you're in one, coming out of one, or you have left an abusive relationship, we want to look at how you can truly break through and break free and be who you need to be as a person. Okay. And so today I'm excited to have Dr. Grace Kelly all the way from Jamaica with us today. Let me see our live squatters. Go ahead, live squad. Type in chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Type that in chat. So Dr. Kelly is all the way from Jamaica. And this has been this relationship has gone back over 20 years. I'm saying like we're into the 20 years. Like I shouldn't be mentioning that, right, Dr. Kelly? But she is a wonderful mentor and has been for a long time over the years. And so I'm excited to have her here today to talk about, and she's a grief specialist as well, counselor, motivational speaker, author of the book, Grieve If You Must. I am so excited to have her, to be able to share and talk to us. And we know abuse doesn't just affect women, right? Even though, more women are being abused, but abuse doesn't just affect women. So today we're excited to have Dr. Kelly on. Just give a wave, let everyone know that you are here. We can see you. Yes. Awesome. So before we begin today, I just want to mention the fact that we have our Unique Couples Marriage Marathon happening tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, and you need to be a part of that. We're all excited about being able to share with you during this time over 5 sessions with 5 dynamic couples and a bonus panel discussion at the end. So we want to make sure that you go ahead, join us for our Unique Couples Marriage Marathon. That will be from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every hour on the hour, a new speaker talking about a new topic. So we have Jason and Levette. Jason and Levette will talk about extraordinary marriages and trust. Okay, all the way from Canada. Then we have extraordinary marriages in communication by Anton and Daria Brown. Then we have extraordinary marriage in finance. We want to make sure the money is right. So you listen into Nathaniel and Ashley Butler at 12 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, we have intimacy and sex. So we're talking about extraordinary marriage and intimacy and sex with Vito and Linda. So if you want to hear about extraordinary marriage and trust, you'll be there for 10. 11 o'clock is extraordinary marriage and communication. Finance is at 12. Intimacy and sex is at 2. And finally, extraordinary marriage in troubled times will be at 2 o'clock. And that will be with Dan and Deborah Smith, Peter Watson, and Ejia Colley. So we are all excited about your marriage and making sure that you have that extraordinary marriage we all want and dream of. So we're going to work on that. Okay. So those of you who haven't joined us in the Unique Couples Marriage Club, make sure you do that. Okay. Make sure you join us in the Unique Couples Marriage Club. The link is in the description, so you could go ahead and join us. So today we're talking about how to we're breaking through from abuse. Okay, we want to look at, what we can do, as as a male, as a female, as a friend. How can you help? As someone who is on the sideline watching, what can you do to help? So we want to look at all of that today. And I'm so excited again to have Dr. Kelly, long-time mentor, instructor at Northern Caribbean University, all the way in Jamaica, my alma mater. Yes, so I had fun there. All sorts of things happen at NCU, and we're so excited that Dr. Kelly is here. So Dr. Kelly, let our viewing audience know about you.
Yes, Linda, it is exciting to be here with you. And what is it that this audience would value as it relates to who I am? Well, I am known to be a very caring, compassionate person who have an understanding and appreciation for hurt and the need for healing. And that's where I would want to start, because that's what we are going to be talking about this afternoon. And it would be good for you to appreciate the fact that you have an ear that really cares. So I'm Dr. Grace Kelly. I serve as an administrator and associate professor at Northern Caribbean University currently. And it has been, as Linda said, I can't believe I was in my younger years as a lecturer, and she as a student, and it has been 20 several years, and I am excited to be here with you, Linda. I am the author of the book Grieve If You Must, a 21-day of grieving, healing, and restoration. I do a lot of community work and support persons who are affected by any form of crime, violence, and anything that causes hurt. My focus is to treat with this situation so that the crime rate would be reduced. And how do I approach that? I found that, as we would have known, Linda, in the area of social and behavioral sciences, a common statement which is so true, that hurt people.
Yes.
If we take care of their hurt, then they would be okay, and then there would be less reprisal, killing, and a lot of other things that are happening. And considering the times that we are in currently, I know it's almost impossible for us to have a conversation without referencing this monster called COVID, which has jolted us into some realities, and it shows up what's happening in the home, because we have a lot more reported cases of domestic violence and other things. And I'm glad you mentioned, Linda, because normally when people reflect or reference violence and domestic issues, they always bias to women, but men suffer at the hands of some female also. And so that's what I'm about. And I'm very jealous, and I will say it that way, because the Bible says you must be jealous after good things. You're talking about your unique couples and your married things and things that are happening. I told her the last time I was viewing one of your shows that the next time around I would be coming in as a dual, But you called me in a little bit too early. So my husband
that means you need to come again.
Yeah. He's still searching for me. He hasn't found me yet.
Okay.
I'm here. So that's
God needs to speed him up. Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So that's it. As we're talking about breaking through, how do we're going to be looking at the how, but for the persons who may want to have an appreciation of what's really is happening to them, I'd want to say that the whole matter of deciding to leave or to break away from an abusive relationship is hard. It's very hard. It's very difficult for a lot of persons, but it is necessary that gets done. it's necessary to find a breakthrough. And the breakthrough for me, Linda, is not necessarily breaking away. If the situation is resolvable, fine. And nowadays it seems impossible, but there are a couple of folks who have had some successes. We find also that persons who seem to have resolved their issues and got back together, they are trending to have the same kind of issues repeated. So one of the things I'd want to say to those who are listening is that no one deserves to be abused, okay? And no one gets married or gets connected with a relationship, with an intent or objective of separation. Everybody wants to live the happy life and they live happily ever after. But the truth is, currently, 1 in every 5 person has suffered either sexually, physically, emotionally, or general intimate partner violence. So that's happening. And that's a reality that we have to face. And I am sure, Linda, you being a Christian and us being Christians would appreciate the fact that we can safely say that God does not desire, nor does he condone. I think it's Psalm 11, verse 5, that says, the Lord examines the righteous, but the wicked, those who love violence, he hates with a passion. That's coming from the Bible. And on the other hand, you ask, Linda, those who are looking at what can be done. Even from the scripture, we can find something in Proverbs 31:8 and verse 9. It says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves.
Awesome.
For the rights of all who are being abused. I'm going to end it that way, Yeah. So these are some of the things we will consider as we are going through this.
Yes. So I like that last point you mentioned about speaking up for those. We have to, even though we might not personally be in the situation where we're facing that abuse of any kind, physical, mental, any sexual abuse, whatever, we might not be in the position where that is happening to us, but if we see it happening, that needs to be something that we speak out against. And I remember being a young psychology major, I think it would have been probably my first year at school. And I remember writing an article in the Freeport News talking about, this abuse and stuff that, I just noticed what was happening. And I was referring to something that was happening with neighbors, right? Mm-hmm. And this was like commonplace because everyone around just felt as if it was okay. And I'm here screaming out, no, no, this isn't something, it's not normal. It shouldn't be normal. Why isn't anyone saying anything? And this situation is just continuing and it just seems so widespread, but it's acceptable. But then at the same time, we know that, hey, this is wrong. And so if we don't speak up, those of us who know and see these things happen, and if we don't speak up for the hurting, then who will? Because sometimes they can't.
Right. As you were talking about that, I recall, I think it's a poem, but I may not be able to repeat it verbatim, but the essence of it is that this neighbor, they looked around and they saw that someone in the neighborhood got killed and they said nothing. They realized that another person was injured and they said nothing. And it continues, and it's about 7 repeats of the same thing. The final statement was, well, when they came to my house, there was nobody there to say anything. That's the essence of what that was. And the truth is, a lot of the times, everybody has what they call it, a nudge, something, they know that something is wrong. And whenever somebody is hurting, Linda, if the person comes to you and said, please, I am being abused, I am afraid, I am frightened, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, please help me, but don't don't let anybody know. The fact of the matter is that they are not actually asking you to keep their secret. They are saying, they are bawling out at you saying, help me, but don't let it hurt. Don't hurt me all over again. Because sometimes when somebody steps in to help them, they may say to the wrong person at the wrong time, and they may not be appropriate. And so it caused them to hurt more because of the ripple effect. And we'll share some of how we can treat with that in a little while. I just want to just share some specifics, as it relates to attacks by males on their female partner in intimate partner violence issue with children as witness. Those situations result in more injuries than real medical and which require medical and clinical attention. So it means therefore the clinical is therefore that they need some psychological help, and some of them need serious medical attention, and a lot of death has been occurred. In 2000 2000 to 4,000 women are battered to death annually. Did you get that?
No, say that again. Say that again.
2,000 to 4,000 women are battered to death on an annual basis, and 40% are by their male partners.
Wow.
That's something we need to take. So it could be anybody.
Your mother, your sister, a cousin, a friend.
A neighbor, a church. Yeah. At least 2 incidents of physical abuse happen in 50% of all marriages. So no marriage, we can't say which marriage will escape it. Let me use it that way. We don't pray for it to happen, but it does happen.
Now that's a high number, considering that 50%, we're almost at 60% of marriages ending in divorce. And now you're saying that about half of the marriages have some sort of physical abuse occurring in that relationship. That is a huge number. That is, definitely wow. Thanks for joining us, Gia. Thanks for joining us, Kathy and Julie. Yes, our live score. That is really a big number.
It is. And don't forget that you mentioned the 60% and in divorce. Of that 60%, probably between 25 to 30% of them would get remarried, and they are also trending towards another second and third divorce, and most times is concerning some form of abuse. Woman, Go ahead. There's more than just the numbers that are repeated here. And remember, those are only reported cases. A lot of people, they hold their hurt and abuse to themselves. In the United States, or generally in the wider population, every 18 seconds, a woman is beaten. In the general population, and in the US, it's every 9 seconds. So there is doubled. And 85% of domestic violence victims are female and 15% are male. And that's only because they are the ones who report it. How do we decide to leave or not to leave?
That is a question. That is definitely a question. I just want to say before we go on any further, those of you who are watching, you definitely need to go ahead and share this video. Those of you who are watching us live here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, go ahead and share this conversation. We're talking about breakthrough, how to move on from an abusive relationship. And I'm talking here with Dr. Grace Kelly. And it's just amazing how, so much of that is going on, and it could be, a female, of course, we know it can be males as well. It could be someone right next to you. This is happening in over 50% of marriages around the world, and you do not know. It could be someone right next to you. It could be your neighbor. It could be your friend. So we don't want to take it for granted. If it's not happening to you, awesome. That's wonderful. We want to be able to share and help someone else who would need to come out. What do I say to someone who is find themselves in that situation? So it's good that we could, dialogue and share so that we can be of assistance to others as well. So if you haven't shared yet, go ahead, share this video. Remember to like and subscribe to our Unique Couples YouTube channel and be a part of the conversation, the Healthy Marriage Movement. Okay, so Dr. Kelly, you mentioned, I just want to put in a question there. You talk about, how do you move on? I know we're going to get steps and things that, ladies we describe the abuse and what happens, what they can do to move on from that abusive relationship. And one of the issues I know, I've personally been around situations where, what do you say to a mother who says that she's staying in that abusive relationship because of her children? So she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't feel financially secure, and she is with this man, and he is basically the breadwinner, and she's depending on him. So she's staying in this abusive relationship because she can't do any better, and she's thinking about her children, how they're going to eat, how they're going to be sheltered, how they're going to be clothed. What can we say if we find ourselves being, a friend, a mother, a sister, or someone who's being abused? It could be a male too. What do we say to someone like that?
I'll go towards something that I had reserved for a power ending. But I'll do start with the end in mind. Take time out before time takes you out.
Oh, we need to write that in chat. Go ahead, y'all. Write that in chat. Take time out before
time takes you out.
Wow. Powerful, powerful.
Yeah. A lot of parents say they are doing things for their children. Yes, that's noble. And that's the right thing to do according to society. But if you are not well, physically, mentally, and otherwise, and if you're not capable of taking care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your children and protect them? When we, the pivoting that happens, Linda, that's also real. I am not coming to share with you that get up and go without thinking and processing. And you have said some of the things that usually happen that cause them to be pivoting, wondering whether or not to leave or not to leave. Is it the right thing to do? Because, based on church situation, based on their family, can I do this? Do I have the strength to do it? What will happen to my kids? I'm afraid, and all of that. But think about your sanity. This is not in the realm of psychology, but I'm impressed to use it. It was Henry Ford, when they were going through the depression and some things were happening and he was about to lose his company. He said, take my machines, take my buildings, but give me my people and I will be back. The essence of that, you're saying, I can't manage financially. You'll have the World Bank right in your doorstep, in your closet, with all the money in there. But if you are battered and you're killed, that would have no use to you. The house that you're seeking for protection in that building, it will have no use to you or your children. So you have to be smart. And understand, when I say be smart, I am not saying that you are not wise. I'm saying weigh the reality of what's happening and make the decision quickly. If the marriage, the relationship, the abusive situation is overwhelming and it doesn't appear as if it's going to be changed, take a break, take time out, go to a retreat to learn about yourself, learn about your strengths and your weaknesses. If your partner is willing and you can combine the effort and you go and you get treated, fine. That's my number one recommendation, okay? Nowadays, you are hearing a lot of persons talking about thinking into results, change your thinking, change your life, change everything. And the truth of the matter, that's actually where it begins, because we respond to things based on what is embedded in our subconsciousness. And what has happened, I don't know how many of you would have already seen the interview or would have had the chance to buy one of Oprah Winfrey's newest publication, which is What Happened to You? She and a clinical psychologist, or yes, I think he's a clinical psychologist, put this together. Because what we are finding out with research is that you don't ask person, what's wrong with you, or why are you doing this? You ask, what happened to you? Embedded in your psyche is the way you were treated. You are no good, you're evil, all of that. And so that's in you. So you feel worthless. A lot of the situations that one has to treat with when they are in abusive relationship is mostly about blaming self because of their low self-esteem, and the cycle of violence, which I think I need to at least highlight before I indicate that it continues. It continues because we are not empowered enough to think that we are worthwhile. So those are some of the challenges that we have. Okay, so you have to change that mindset. You have to change what you are thinking about yourself, and you have to work on finding out what is it that caused you to think so little of yourself that you stop loving you. I want to ask a question before I go to sharing the cycle of abuse. How many of you have a best friend? Put in the chat. One for yes. Do you have a best friend? Watch that chat for me, Linda. I'm not able to manipulate observe what's happening there. But Linda, even you, do you have a best friend? Somebody you will
see the ones coming in.
Okay, the ones are coming in. And you have that close-knit friend that you will take up for them anytime. If something is wrong, you'll be the first to show up to help them. Put two, if that's correct, if that represents you. You're the first to show up. I have a friend called Ruby, and I'm telling you, if I sneeze, I don't know how she finds out. She'll be at her house and she'll be calling. And she said, are you okay? And as long as I hesitate, she said, I'm coming. Because she know if I hesitate, it's because I don't want to tell her that something is wrong. And she'll be the first to come make sure that she takes me to the hospital if I have to go. And she's making sure that I get the best treatment. She's not leaving me there or anything. And she just cares. How many of us? And I want to say to you this afternoon that your absolute best friend is not the one who shows up for you. It's not the one who always prays for you. It's not the one who always provides what you need. Your absolute best friend is you, or should be you. I'm going to pause for you to hear that. Your absolute best friend should be you. You should
that definitely needs to be written in chat. Say that again. Your definite best friend should be you.
I am my best friend. Even the Bible, from a Christian perspective, it says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So the same treatment that you would want to give to somebody, give it to you. You're hurt, get help, seek help. When you ask for help, Linda, you also in the helping profession would also support this. When you ask for help, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you appreciate your challenges and you want to become better at what you're good at. You want to stay strong and not to get weak. So asking for help is a strength. And that's one of the first things. Well, the first thing that you need to do in getting through an abusive relationship is to identify and own what the challenge is. The second one is to love yourself enough to ensure that your response to what you have found out is going to work in your favor. And the third thing would be get help. Don't be like Johnny. That's a story I've told for years now. If you haven't heard it, and if you have heard it before, it is worthwhile repeating. It was a stormy day, and Johnny had to run back inside because he was outside in his playhouse. And while he was in the house, he heard a sound, and that was a big rock that went and blocked his entry to his playhouse. And Johnny ran outside after the rain, and Johnny held on to the stone and started pushing to get out. And his dad was standing at the door looking at him. And when Johnny pushed and the door, the rock wouldn't move, Dad said to him, Johnny, why aren't you using your strength? Johnny said, I am, Dad. And he kept pushing and tugging and pushing. And Dad said, Johnny, why aren't you using your strength? He said, Daddy, I'm using my strength. And he pushed and then the third time Daddy said, Johnny, why aren't you using all your strength? And Johnny pushed the stone with everything inside of him, and he said, Daddy, can't you see? I am pushing, I'm using all I've got. He was tired. And Dad turned to him and said, no, Johnny, you're not using all you've got. You've not used all your strength because you have not asked for help.
Powerful.
So ask for help. Do you want to share something here before I continue? Because I want this to go.
I know you wanted to mention the cycle of abuse. So often, people get in that situation where they're in the cycle and don't necessarily see a way out, or they think that they're out of it, but the cycle just continues if you don't really know what to do to get off. So talk to us about the cycle and some more of what people can do to actually break through from this abusive relationship.
All right, there are several thoughts and out there about the cycle, and the one I found to be that I use most is this four level. The first stage, 4 stages. The first one is when the anger builds up. So something happened and it festers different kinds of negative feeling, and there is name calling, anger, aggression, and all of that. All right. So at that point, it's okay. That's fine. He's just or she's just not herself today. And then it continues where it becomes more intense. So it is intensified. So you get where persons are piling up the issues. So it's not about why are you not moving the shoes anymore. It's about every day you come in, you put down your shoes. You not only put down your shoes, you take off your clothes, you throw it in the settee. You use the utensils, you leave them everywhere. So they become piled up, so it becomes intensified. So the anger and the negative feelings get intensified. And then they move into what we call a honeymoon phase, which is the apologetic phase. And it's okay, I am so sorry that I hurt you. It won't happen again. And increase intimacy. So the lovey-dovey troops and maybe the flowers leading from the door to the bedroom or the bathroom, or maybe the scented candles, or maybe some candlelight dinner, you know, the romance and all of that. It comes together with the honeymoon, just like you just got married and you're exploring yourself and you're exploring your emotions and all of that. And it is smooth and dandy. But what happens is that the hurt is still on the inside. The monster is still locked up in there, and something happens, and then there is an outburst, and where the cycle continues with the anger building up again, and then the violence intensifies, and then it goes back in the honeymoon. When this cycle continues, there's severity or increase in terms of the amount of times you hear the negative words, or you get the fist in the eye, or the jerk, or the shaking, or whatever means is utilized. And then the cycle goes faster. So whereas probably it's only on the weekend that you would have seen certain kinds of behavior, you start seeing it midweek and then every day. And the cycle is reinforced. All right, so we have to be careful, because it's like a whirlwind. You fall into whirlwind and it just keeps going. And someone, especially a narcissistic person, they have the ability to make you feel that you are the bad guy. They make you feel as if you are the bad guy when you are responding. And in most cases, because of the intensity of the pain that you experience, be it emotional or physical, the intensity of the pain, you react rather than respond, because you don't have time to think through what's happening. And when you object, or when you deny that you are not, when you try to defend yourself, then that kind of behavior patterns in narcissistic behavior continues. So that's basically it. And as I said, there are several different cycles out there with 6, 7, 8, and a bunch of other areas. But to simplify, these are the 4 major ones. And it's actually 3 with the recycling. That makes the 4th one. How do we get through it? Are we pausing for that to sink in a little bit? Or do we go continue on? So we identify the problem. We ensure we take care of ourselves. And we seek help. And the kind of help that we are seeking is not necessarily the help that you go and call somebody to come and say, come and help me. Sometimes you have to take care of yourself. And as a matter of fact, most times, you have to take responsibility for your mental health and your wellness.
Definitely, definitely.
So Daniel Goleman is the American psychologist who helped to popularize the emotional intelligence concept. And there are 5 key elements or emotional elements that we need to master as individuals to prevent ourselves from being in an abusive relationship, or to strengthen our resolve and our resilience so that we can get out. And those are simply self-awareness. Just being aware of the different aspects of yourself, your traits, your behaviors, your feelings, your moods, what makes you tick, and those kind of things, the psychological state of which you become your focused attention. So it's not the abuser, it's not your children, it's not your parents, nor the church, nor the community who think that, okay, everything looks quite dandy, so they should be fine. It's about you taking full control and also focusing on you so that you can be aware of you. Why are you here? What's your purpose? How is this relationship enhancing the quality of your life? Talk to yourself about that. So be aware of what triggers there are that you may have even sent out that cause your partner to behave the way they behave. How can you change that? All right. Now, I'll give you a story. I think I can put that story here. There was this woman who, she had a challenge with her husband. And the challenge she had with her husband is not that she had a problem. He just came in one day and said, I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce. And fortunately for her, she was reading a particular book that helped her to understand some things that she could do. And this one thing she chose, she said to the person, to the husband, okay, I don't have a problem with giving you a divorce, but give me 3 months. And then on the dot today, that day, at 3 months, I'll sign the paper. I believe it was not just the book that she read, but she had gone to her counselor, and the counselor recommended the book that she was reading. But it's in essence, what she did, she was told to think back on what life was. What was it like when you met your mate? And I'm asking you, those of you who are here, what was it like? What worked for you? What excited you? What pulled you in? What won your heart? And she recalled that she appreciated when he would just sit in the settee, reads his newspaper, and just laugh and tell her the stories, and they were just enjoying themselves, and things were just great. She just liked that. And there were some other things that she mentioned, but in the interest of time, you would have gotten the essence of what I'm saying. She said that she was instructed, now what you do, take the time for those 3 months and just sit where you are accustomed to sitting and look at the empty chair where he was. And Linda, you would know about empty chair technique from techniques in counseling. And she did it. She said she sat and she just imagined him being the person that he was before he changed. And after a while, I can't tell you how many days, but after a while, he came home and he said, do you want to go to walk in the park? And she said, yes, I don't mind. And he went, both of them went. And after a couple more days, hey, do you want us to just watch a movie and eat popcorn like we were accustomed to do? He said, okay. They ate popcorn. Oh, by the way, I'm going to play golf with my friends. Do you want to come and just sit with me and just enjoy? She said, yes. And she went. And then after a while, he came home and he started reading the paper, sitting in the chair. And then he started laughing again, telling her the jokes and the stories from the paper. And then on the day of the third month, she went to him and said, I am ready to sign the papers. He's like, what papers? He said, the divorce paper. You asked me to divorce you 3 months ago, and I told you, I made a commitment that you just need to give me 3 months and I will sign it. And today is third month. He looked at her and said, who under heaven would be so foolish, so stupid to divorce such a wonderful person like you? And it may sound simple and silly, but the truth is, it is said, worry is your prayer for what you do not want. And faith, just by faith, says what we should do is just have faith and think about the things as if, the things that are not as if they were. The Bible tells us we can do that and trust God to make it happen. But guess what? You cannot do that if you don't have your self-esteem intact and if you are not self-aware. And that's why I injected that story at this point. So the next 4, I'll just do that and then you can tell me if there are questions coming in. Self-regulate. Be able to control your behaviors and your emotions and your thoughts and just be able to control that. Now, Dr. Kelly, are you here to tell me how to stay in my relationship or how to get through it or over it? Or how to recuperate from it or to recover from it? It's all of the above. What works for you today is what I'd like for you to take away and use the information that you have to treat with your relationship, whether it's broken or it is on the verge of breaking, and see the outcome that you can have. Because sometimes the truth of the matter is when you become married or when you have a relationship and you connect with somebody, you become one. You become one. And there is so much of you that you give to the other person that if it is a situation that can be salvaged, try it. But may I say another story? I like stories. You'll find that out. Well, you have found that out already. In the Kendall crash in Manchester, Mr. Skipper Dawes. Linda, you would remember Skipper Dawes.
Yes, definitely.
He was a lot of stories in his time. I don't know if when you were doing, was it what? Caribbean Perspectives?
I was right there.
Okay. So he gave us this story about what happened in Kendall. And the doctor was when the doctors went to treat with the situation, the Kendall crash is that, for those of you who are listening in from overseas, it's a major train crash that killed a lot of persons. And so the medical practitioners had to be there to pronounce the ones dead who were going to the morgue. So this one, the porters who work with the doctor respected the doctor so to the extent that one of the men looked up and said, please, help. I am not dead. And the porters, one held the 2 hands, and just imagine, and the other held the 2 feet, and swing and say, if the doctor say you're dead too. And throw him in the back of the vehicle that was going to the morgue. Very insensitive story to be laughing at. Whether it's real or conjured, the essence of it, there are some things. If it is not working out and you see that it is over, move on. Don't take forever. Don't lock yourself. It is said that you can hold your fist and your arm so tightly to the past that you do not have the energy or the strength to let go, to hold on to a better future. Self-motivate, motivate yourself. And that is the innate drive that you have to do something. Yeah. Brush off the shame and all of that comes along with brokenness. And just see yourself all over again in the image of your Creator.
Powerful.
Yeah. Self-motivate. Do things that you enjoy. And one of the things that cause a lot of the relationship to get to the point that they have to be rejuvenated or for you to get out of it is because we tend to immerse ourselves into other things and forget about our individuality. So get back to that. Motivate yourself, all right? And there's a word called empathy. And the empathy I'm talking about this afternoon, Linda, is the same empathy that you feel what the other person is experiencing with the as if component. So you feel it as if it were you.
As if. Mm-hmm.
But I want each person to apply that to themselves, to their best friend. And you know who your best friend is now, right?
Yeah.
Apply that empathy. Feeling without hurting like the other person. But still you could almost experience the pain. And then social skills. And the main one I'm going to reference this afternoon is the communication skills. You need to be able to know how to communicate your needs. And if you are getting through this, you need to be able to appreciate and know how to tell the story without saying everything. A lot of people, when they listen to your complaint, it is said that 85% of them don't want to hear you. They don't want to hear the gooey details of what's happening. And 15% wish it wasn't them. So if you can tell the story, and it is said, the one who tells a story most effectively is the one who makes the fewest words go the farthest. So you can tell your story so people can understand how to help, when to help, and the kind of help that you need. So those are the 5 key elements that you need to have in your pocket as reserve when you're transitioning into the new you as you seek to build your marriage and get through the pain of the past. I have more I can share, but I want to pause. Linda, talk to me.
Yes, I see Kathy is saying I'm trying to help someone now to understand abuse is not love. Yeah, so the question is, how can I help an individual who has escaped an abusive relationship? How can I help?
The best help that you can do is self-empowerment. Empower the person to get to the point where they can know what's happening to them and be realistic about what's happening to them. And you can't change them. That's a life work. It's their work. Remember when I said earlier, getting through a situation of hurt and pain, it's possible. It's also necessary, but it's going to take you. A lot of what needs to be done has to be done by the individual. The truth be told, I heard something from I think Les Brown recently. He said, you cannot see the picture when you are in the frame.
Wow.
And sometimes you will have to facilitate. Notice I'm not saying help. You facilitate the person getting out of the frame so that they can see themselves, and the individual needs to find help, professional help. If you, Kathy, who's helping, if you who are helping that person, if you are a clinical or counseling psychologist or social worker and those areas, helping your helper, and you have the techniques to be able to facilitate their growth, moving from stuckness to intentionality, fine. If you are not, the best help you can give is to help them find help.
Awesome. So there is something you can do, so you don't have to feel as if, you're helpless looking and seeing, someone you love in an abusive relationship, just feeling overwhelmed with that. You can be of assistance to them. Like Dr. Kelly said, you can facilitate by making sure that they get the help that they need, seeking professional help. And earlier we learned that asking for help is a sign of strength, right? A sign of strength and not weakness. So we must take that with us with those who are dealing with abuse or trying to come out of an abusive relationship. Asking for help is your superpower. If you're in your marriage now and you're dealing with problems, don't just stay stuck. Ask for help. Help is available. Get the help that you need so that you can change what is happening with you, starting with you. That's self-empowerment. That's all of the self-work that you need to do, starting with yourself. Be able to access that. So we implore you to definitely make sure that you get the help that is available, starting with that self-awareness, knowing you and your needs and what you want. I think we have one last question. Those of you who are watching, go ahead and put your takeaways in chat for us. Put your takeaways in chat for us. And let us know what stood out to you, and yes, what you're going to take with you. Everything isn't for you, but take what is yours and chew on that. So we mentioned earlier about couples, with the remarriage. Okay, so someone might have come out of an abusive relationship and then they enter into another relationship and they find themselves in the same situation. How can they move on from not continuing this cycle into another relationship?
That's an excellent question. And I think I mentioned something earlier. Do the self-assessment. What is it that is common across both relationships? What is it that you have brought into this? And even if you were the innocent party in the other, the effect that a narcissistic and abusive relationship, which almost could be one and the same, has on you is that sometimes you become what your violent partner was.
Ooh.
All right. So you take on the traits of an abuser. So you have to know what it is that you're taking over. Also, remember I mentioned about our fear and worry. is our prayer for what we don't want. When you are worried and you're concerned about a situation, it's almost like you are thinking it in, you're bringing it in, that's what you anticipate. Because, you know, everything happens twice, first in the mind and then it appears, even with God, as it were, let there be and there was. So we are saying we are afraid of this, but be very realistic and go and seek help, because maybe the problem is not necessarily with the other person, but you may not know because you were abused. And so because you were abused, you also have some tendencies that trigger the abuse, and it's almost like magnet. You are drawn to like persons, okay, or personalities. I just want to, I hope that answers the question, Linda, and I just want to share a few things. I don't know how much time we have left. You could guide me on that.
Yes. Huh? We're wrapping up now. Yes. So you can go ahead and share. You can go ahead and share that. Yes.
I need to share some steps or strategies that need to be employed. If you're still in the relationship, just think of your safety and think of a safe place that you can go. If you're in the house, don't use a bathroom where you have one door out, or the kitchen when there's weapon. Think and make a list of the things that you need. The children's passport, birth paper, your medication, all of those kind of stuff. Memorize numbers of persons who you need to call just in case your phone is taken away. Establish different codes and signs with your family and your friend and co-workers. So if I text you IA, it means I need help. It doesn't matter whether or not. It shouldn't be something that is easily figured out, but you need to mention that. Think about what you will say to the partner if they become violent, and think of something that will reduce their and cause them to respond rather than react to you. Get a protection order if you must, but also have a bag packed with all your important documents, a change of clothes, and if it is possible, leave that somewhere that is safe, so that if you were to say go to work and your children are at school, you could actually divert and not go back home if the situation is very intense. And I will at some point, Linda, you'll share with them, if they haven't yet heard the poem, I Got Flowers Today. It's something that they need to read. I got flowers today because, you know, it wasn't birthday or any other day, but I got flowers today. He hurt me, but then he said, hey, I'm sorry. And the next time, the final time they got flower, it was on the funeral day. So I say to you, use the energy, use the help that you've got. Ask for help, empower yourself, love yourself enough not to take the abuse, love yourself enough to find help, and remember, take time out before time takes you out.
Definitely, that has been powerful. I Got Flowers Today. That is a touching poem. I will make it available on our Facebook page and on all of the other platforms as well, so that those of you who haven't seen it and would like to see it can get access to that. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You have to put yourself first. Don't allow that situation to get you to the point where there's no you left. There is no you, and you have to be your best friend. So Dr. Kelly just mentioned what you need to do. If you find yourself in that situation, the strategies you need to employ if you're, you know, in this abusive situation, how you can get help, what you would need to go if you have to run suddenly. This is definitely a conversation we need to have. Again, something that we need to make sure that more and more people are aware of, so that we can stop, because we're talking about 50% of marriages. That is a huge number. Every 18 seconds, in a relationship, someone is being abused, most likely a female. That is really, really staggering to statistics here in the Caribbean, and for that 9%, 9 second in the United States, that is really scary. That is really scary. And I say all of that to say, even though we don't want to talk about these topics, we want to talk about the fun and exciting things and stick with that. But this is a reality of what people are facing. This is what people are facing. So if you find yourself in that situation, you have options. And if it's really a situation where, you're fearing for your life and you need to get out and there's just absolutely no recourse, make sure you take that time out. Get your escape, move away from the situation, because if you allow you to be destroyed, there will be no you left. There'll be no you left. So Dr. Kelly, we had an awesome time today sharing and just encouraging women and men to break through these abusive relationships and what they can do to help themselves. So share with our viewing audience how they can reach you, what you are doing now. Tell us about the book, Grieve If You Must. We know that when you lose a relationship, it'll feel as if someone has died to you, and that'll be like a grieving process as well. Tell us about the book and the group, and how they can reach you on social media if they want to continue to talk.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate this opportunity. If you want to continue to talk, you may join the Facebook group. It's called Grieve If You Must support group. We will be starting up some conversations there. I also have another Facebook group. It's called Let's Talk Life and Legacy, a moment with Dr. Grace, which we will drop in the chat after on the Facebook page where this will be posted. And the book, Grieve If You Must, it's written in a personalized way. It is an autobiographical approach that is used because of the amount of pain and hurt that I myself had gone through. But it covers a lot of issues, and it gives you a sequence of 21 days filled with activities that you can utilize to treat with your grief. And remember, if I haven't said it here, grieving is to pain as breathing is to life. That's grieving is to pain as breathing is to life. So if you want to live, you breathe. If you want to heal and have that breakthrough out of an abusive relationship, you need to grieve. And the only thing that can cure grief is to grieve. Additionally, what Linda mentioned as it relates to persons who are suffering from the abusive situation is very critical, because people who have been separated or divorced, they have reported that the grief is worse than grieving for the death of somebody, because at least you have a grave to look at when somebody dies, or you have a body to put away. But in this case, when you have been separated, you have the person sometimes interacting with you because of joint custody and other reasons, and you see them in the same space. So it is as severe. And I would encourage you, please, to take time out. My Instagram is at Dr. Grace AK, all one word, with the @ Dr. Grace AK. That's my Instagram. You can direct message me there and we can talk, or you can direct message me on the Facebook, and the YouTube page is Facing Life. If you put Facing Life, of topics there that you can review. And let's keep in touch and see how best we can support each other. And if you get your book, you can send me a message and I will provide for you a 45-minute consultation session when you get your book to help you to utilize it to maximize the benefit that you can receive from it. So it's Grieve If You Must. 21 Day for Healing, Grieving, and Restoration. And if you forget everything, Linda knows how to get in touch with me. So contact Unique Couples.
Definitely, Grieve. If you must get your copy of the book, join the Facebook group, and you have a 45-minute session consultation. So that is awesome. Make sure you make use of that. Remember, we said help is always available. Yes, help is always available. Ask for help, because that is your strength. That is your superpower. Do not neglect getting the help that you need. This has been a powerful conversation. We want to thank you all for watching, for being here with us. Yes, Kathy, we will have a part 2. We will have another conversation because, you know, it is definitely needed. We cannot neglect the part that we can play in helping those and being an advocate for those who hurt, because like Dr. Kelly mentioned earlier as well, hurt people hurt people. And so in order for us to help, we have to, be aware of what is going on and speak out. Don't keep silent. Speak out about what is happening so that people can get the help they need. And the cycle part of it, an issue for me is as a child, as children growing up and seeing that could be a cycle. And for parents who feel as if, I don't want to do it because of my children, you have to do it for your children, because you don't want your daughters seeing that and growing up with that, and you don't want your sons growing up and seeing that as well. You have to do it for them. So we implore you to make sure that you take care of yourself. Your mental health is important as well. You are your best friend. Just like how you would run to help your best friend, run and help yourself and make sure that you're getting the help you need. So we just want to say, join us tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're all excited about our Unique Couples Sunday night. Unique Couples. Today is Sunday Night Live. Tomorrow we are having Unique Couples Marriage Marathon. That will be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that is a mouthful. It is going to be awesome. We have 5 incredible couples plus more bonus sessions of panel discussion on extraordinary marriages. We are looking at how you can do so much in your marriage. Extraordinary marriage and trust. Yes, by the Bastons. Then we have extraordinary marriage in communication, followed by extraordinary marriage in finance. Then we will have extraordinary marriage in intimacy and sex. Guess what? You asked for it and we made it available. Extraordinary marriage in troubled times. Join us for the panel discussion, which will be at 2 p.m. We are going to have an awesome time. And guess what? It is all free. It is all free. So join, be a part of it. Learn, invite someone, share, let us know your takeaways. Let someone know about the incredible time. And don't forget to join us in the marriage club. Yes, our very own Unique Couples Marriage Club. Join Vito and I and couples as we take you on a journey to more intimacy, inspiration, and transformation in your relationship. You are going to, if you're serious about taking your marriage to the next level, you will be a part of this marriage club. You are getting more intimacy, connection, friendship, trust, communication. You're building that with your spouse. And you're also getting bonus date nights, group date nights in there every month. We have our sessions. And then every day we have drips of love. Okay, we have drips of love every day so that you can be a part of doing what you need to do to work on your relationship with your spouse. So those daily drips of love, action steps that you take so that you can, take your marriage up to the next level of loving. Okay, so no matter which stage you are, we are working with you to, do those baby steps. and get the help and assistance that you need within a community of persons who are cheering you on. So be a part of the Unique Couples Marriage Club. The link is in the description. If you haven't joined us yet, go ahead and join us in the Unique Couples Marriage Club. So,
and Linda, may I use my privilege? May I use my privilege as your lecturer to say how proud I am of you. You and your husband, you're doing a phenomenal job. I'm so excited. And this matter of relationship, I think you are saving a huge chunk of our society from a lot of ills just by the work you're doing. So congratulations. Keep up the good work, and I'm extremely proud of you. And I know Northern Caribbean University, we are so excited, and you have done well. God bless you. I just thought I needed to reinforce that.
Thank you so much. Yes, NCU, Northern Caribbean University, my alma mater. I actually did 2 degrees there. And I had to stop myself, Dr. Kelly, and say, no, you can't go ahead and do 3 and 4 there. It was so great. I did my counseling there, as well as the education, the master's in education degree as well there. And yes, years later, and I'm like, oh man, we were waiting for the 20 years. Vito and I were actually waiting, or I think it was more me waiting to say, when we're 20 years old in marriage, then we'll do it. This year we celebrated sweet 16 plus 2. So we're actually 18 years now, Dr. Kelly. 18 years married, and we were not promised another day. So we had to go ahead and do it because marriages around us were failing, and we were seeing more than 50%. So I'm all excited. I am happy that, even what I was taught then and what I've learned along the way, NCU has really been West Indies College, NCU. I was one of the first graduates, actually, for Northern Caribbean University, that class. So I'm all excited about being able to live my purpose and what I was trained and called to do, and being able to do it. So thank you so much. Those words mean a lot to me. And yeah, so I'm excited, and I think I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be saying now. But we had a wonderful conversation. Everyone, join us tomorrow. Tomorrow, we want to see you on Unique Couples Marriage Marathon, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every hour on the hour. Join us. Dr. Kelly, just stick around a bit as we close out, but I have some more slides to show. We'll show. So thanks for joining us. This has been a longer conversation, but this conversation was definitely needed because we have people who are hurting, and we want to help those persons who are hurting. Okay, so this has been Unique Couples Sunday Night Live, and we spoke about breakthrough, how to move on from an abusive relationship. At Unique Couples, we believe, we encourage, we are excited about building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. So we'll see you tomorrow. Good night or good morning, or whenever you're seeing this. Have a great time and do the work that you need to do on you.